right, guys. Well, amazing start to an amazing week. I can see it already. We're just a few days into August, and already so many of our team is just going crazy right now, signing people up, supporting new clients, and things like that. So obviously, what we're doing here as a team is freaking working, right? Like, this is so cool. So I'm excited tonight because this is one of my favorite topics that we're going to have Robin and Christina talk about tonight is branding yourself and living out loud and why that's so important in our business. So we're going to be talking about that tonight, and then we're also going to kind of open it up for questions and answers and things like that that you've done to brand yourselves and stuff like that too. So ladies, do you care who goes first? Okay, well then I'm going to take Robin and unmute you. So Robin, you're going to go first, my friend. So you have the show.
All right. Well, I have to say, first of all, Facebook, I've been an inner and outer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I used to be really into Facebook, and then I cut it off. And then once I became a health coach, I was at that cutoff point and had to reacclimate on how to use Facebook again in order to build my client awareness of what I'm doing, as well as get acclimated and understand what to post as opposed to what I thought I should post. And like Jamil says, don't just be a walking advertisement. Don't be an infomercial, and try to really make sure that you're posting your own personality on Facebook like you would, but be intentional. That's the biggest word of that I get from Jamil consistently is intentional, is being intentional and using Facebook intentionally to grow your business and make people aware of what you're doing, as well as showing how you're living, how this has changed you, so that people are excited to join in the journey with you, and knowing that it's not just you posting posts for the sake of posting. You're really living out loud. We hear that a lot too, which means to me, like I posted yesterday, I was in Genoa for a concert. I posted some videos of the band that I was watching. I gave kudos to my co-parent because he's an important part of my life and of Chloe's life, and that, I took the time to sit down with him. And yet at the same time, I was posting stuff, about Celebration Sunday, celebrating someone's success, and commingling, coaching with my day-to-day. And if you've ever looked on my Facebook, I actually have different categories for my posts. I categorize all my posts. I have healthy, clean eating recipes. I've got day-to-day. I've got successful clients. I have travel adventures, so I have community events now, so that you can go through and look at my albums and say, oh my gosh, she's involved in so much stuff, and that she really cares about her community. She cares about her family. She cares about what she's doing as a health coach. She herself is being intentional on what she does on the day-to-day for her own health. And Facebook allows you the opportunity to brand yourself with your posts and have people understand this is not just you pretending. This is who you are, and it builds a level of trust without them even knowing you, because they see you posting consistently the same types of things. I have motivational stuff, and you post that, you intermingle that, but you do it again, intentionally. It's not just a random. And the thing that hit me this morning, Jamil posted on the Breakthrough page with regards to being intentional in your posts and understanding that you really need to sit down and kind of plan it. And maybe that sounds like it's fake, but it's not, when you want to make sure that you're reaching out to people who you wouldn't normally reach. I find that I get more responses on posts that have to do with my personal life. Like I posted a dress. I made an album for Goal Wardrobe. I had 115 responses to a dress, you know, and those people are on my list. 115 on one post. And they're all like, yeah, you can do it. And they're all supportive. And for me, it's been a learning curve. And just making sure that I am consistent in what I'm doing. And sometimes that's the hard part for me, because I don't necessarily feel like I have the time to do it at, 7 in the morning, 12, 3, 6. So that's where I'm struggling right now, is just making it consistent. But I feel like I'm definitely in the zone with how I'm posting and what I'm posting, because I'm getting the responses and I'm able to make the lists. I have a whole new notebook, brand new, thank you, back to school, that's just for lists of people. Because I have so many just on 1 or 2 posts. I have like 220 responses. And that's what Facebook is to do for our business. That's how we use it.
I love it. There were so many nuggets in there that I pulled down. Like, yeah, everybody's nodding their head. Because it's so true. Some of the nuggets that I really heard, of course, being intentional, right? And when I used to hear Jamil say that, I was like, yeah, I'm intentional, I'm posting. Mm-hmm. That's not what he meant. And when we hear that now, I love saying, okay, like, are there certain people that are on your heart right now that that are struggling with diabetes, and are you be posting like a diabetic post? Mm-hmm. Are we, like today I posted someone that was in the healthcare field. I've been working on her. She's a nurse. And I'm like, all right, we're just going to drop this and see what happens, mm-hmm. And then, just all sorts of stuff like that. So really trying to be intentional about who we're trying to reach, who we're trying to attract, and using those posts to actually grasp those people's attention. So I love how you said co-mingling personal and coaching together. So that's one of the things that you guys probably haven't heard me say much, because I haven't, and this is so important, but we don't do Optavia. Mm-mm. We are Optavia. And if you are Optavia and being Optavia, you're going to start living it through our posts, right? And so you co-mingle. Your personal can't be separated by Optavia. They're one and the same. So I love that you're doing that, and integrating is another way of putting that too. I love how you said, because you're throwing the personal posts out there, and being authentic, it builds trust, mm-hmm. right? People are starting to trust you, and building that trust is so, so important. And then again, going back to being intentional, planning it out. It sounds inauthentic, but right, who we trying to reach, why we trying to reach these people, and planning some of these posts ahead of time. It's actually on one of my lists this month right here. I've got it, topics for Facebook, on my list, because that way, number one, it takes the stress out of it. Number two, like, if you can't think of something, you just go, okay, well, I was going to talk about this. Let me throw something out there. It's actually being proactive instead of reactive, going, oh my God, I haven't posted all day today. Let me find something real quick and throw up a quote or something, you know? People will feed off of that, and they know that. They see when that happens, because it's just not authentic. So, nice job.
Thank
Nice.
you.
You're welcome. All right, so we got the Miss Amazing Christina here and her amazing Hot August Night makeup going. Oh my gosh, look at those eyes. Nice job. Woo.
I thought about wearing the dress just for this, but I decided against it.
So stunning, my friend. All right, what goodies do you have for us?
Okay, so, you know, I had this whole thing planned out, and then I saw a picture of the old me back in my early 20s, and I totally changed everything I was going to say. I'm going to get a little deep on why I think it's so important to live out loud. I felt in my younger years, my teens, early 20s, I felt like I was the only one who had experienced depression, trauma, childhood abuse, relationship abuse. I thought I was the only one. I isolated myself. I tried to kill myself multiple times. And a lot of it was because I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one who had ever experienced anything horrific. And one of the main reasons that I see it's so important to live out loud is so that people out there who are struggling or people out there who are going through things know that they aren't the only one. I think one of my favorites is the before and after, and it's not necessarily pictures, just weight loss pictures, but it's stories, before and after stories, because a lot of times if you're just showing what's going on in your life now and you forget to refer back to what you were like previously, you're actually going to miss the people that you're trying to communicate to, who are struggling, who are going through what they're going through, who need a glimpse of hope, who need to know that they're not the only one. So my biggest reason for living out loud is so that those people out there who need us know what we've gone through and that we're there for them. So that's like my biggest deep down heartfelt reason for living out loud. And I'm gonna say I too was like Robin, where like I'd be in and out of Facebook. Like I'd be in Facebook and then I'd see posts of all these super happy people and I'd be like, you guys suck because my life sucks and I'm not you. And you aren't inviting me. And it would put me in this like victim mentality and this depressed mentality and like poor me and nobody loves me. And you know, I was pretty bad. I was pretty bad, and I was pretty mean to myself about it. Like, what's so wrong with me that these people aren't inviting me? And I would actually, it got to a point where I would lash out at some of my friends, and that didn't go over so well. But anyway, so when it came to coaching and living out loud, and life was going good, I was a little bit reserved to share how good life was going because I didn't want to make somebody else feel like I felt. And it hit me, you know, our subconscious mind is pretty amazing. It starts to get a need or feel a need, and subconsciously it searches out answers. So a year ago, when I was super depressed and hating the fact that everybody was living life without me and wishing that I somehow could have a bright and shiny life like everybody else on Facebook, I really think that subconsciously, like my mind was like, okay, well, how can we do this for Christina? How can we get her there? And you know, I don't think for one instant that it was by accident that I happened to float down the river with Miss Annika. You know, this was around the same time that this happened. So I think life pulls in those needs for you as soon as they start to kind of show up in the world around you. And so, going back to why it's so important to live out loud, there's going to be somebody else out there who wants the life that you have. And even though it might upset them or make them feel not as good as they'd like to feel about themselves, it is going to like light that fire in them that like guides them towards the life that they want to live, and it helps them find answers. When it comes down to like making posts to actually show what your life is going on, I think one of the biggest questions, like if you're struggling to live out loud, if you're struggling to find what you want to post and what you need to post and how you should be posting, I think the biggest question that I have answered for myself in the past is, am I really living my life the way that I want to live it? If I'm having a hard time sharing my life, then in my eyes, how I'm living it isn't exactly how I want to live it. And, a great tool, going back to some basics, is creating a structural tension chart on, okay, where am I at now? Like, what does the life that I want to live look like? And how can I get there? And as you progress, it makes it easier and easier and easier to share, because these are your goals, these are your dreams, these are the things that you want to do. And now that you're doing them, you want to shout it from the rooftops so that people know that the dreams of your life is possible. You just have to find the steps to get there. So when it comes to branding, I think, living out loud and showing your true self is where branding really comes in. And for me, it's kind of interesting because I've always kind of been like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know where I want to go. Like, I'm always growing, so that answer is kind of always changing. And I wasn't sure what my branding necessarily was, or what I was even representing to other people. And I started getting feedback. I'm doing the same things over and over again. I'm sharing similar things. I'm really showing who I am. I'm being vulnerable a lot, which has been hard and very nerve-wracking, and definitely anxious about sometimes. But it really has shown through, and I've had a lot of friends who have like reached out to me and like, feel like I can talk to you because I trust you and you listen. And you've been through a lot of the same things that I have. And I think, like, for me, my branding is personally that relatability and the realness that I try to show in my posts. Like, not everything's perfect. I'm not always going to have makeup on. My house is most likely going to be a disaster because that's authentically who I am. But I'm not going to not post a picture because the background has dirty clothes in it or something like that. And I think branding for everybody is going to be completely different. But be open to the feedback that you're getting from people and what people say that they like. When you reach out and you do this, like, what was it that you liked about the posts? Like, thanks for supporting me. What was it that you liked about the post? Not only is that important to start a conversation and find out what their need is, but that also gives you feedback on how you're representing yourself and what you're branding yourself as. And definitely, as you grow, I think your branding is going to change a little bit. But the more you can kind of tune into what that is for you and repeat it and continuously keep that message going, the more people are going to be like, oh yeah, Christina Kogans, I love her. I can talk to her about anything. And somebody hears that and they're like, oh, I don't have anybody I can talk to about anything about, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, well, who's Christina Kogans? So, and like I said, I think that's different for everybody. We all have our own talents. And I think that's one of the amazing things about having a community of coaches. We all have our own talents. We all can help each other in that way. And we'll all attract those clients that fall into our talents. So yeah, that's what I got on living out loud and branding.
Wow. You ladies just nailed this tonight. I mean, so Like, let's talk about those nuggets, I mean, that I heard, and then you guys can all share too, but like, you know, the first part, being the only one that had dealt with something and feeling that way and feeling so alone. I mean, how many of us felt alone in the world? Like, offering hope. What that does is offers hope to so many of us who thought that there was none, even if it's just a little piece of glitter, of a glimmer. You may offer somebody hope. And that was another thing. So you were saying it, like, some of these things might be overwhelming, and not like that you're posting saying, you know, what's the way I want to put this? Basically, that you don't know when the time is right for somebody, and what you post may actually inspire them, instead of seeing the same thing over and over again going, gosh, you know, I feel so alone, I don't feel like I can relate to this or anything like that. You never know when the timing's right. You can hit somebody and they'll say, you know what, why am I not worthy of this? And have that shift, you know, or and you just never know when that's going to be for somebody. So to live out loud consistently, and being authentic and sharing that stuff, you don't know that you may have just changed somebody's life or perspective and offered them that glimmer of hope. If you're having a hard time not knowing what to post, it's probably because you're not living your life the way you want to. That was a bomb drop. Like, that hit me and I was like, damn, I know when I struggle, it's because I'm not living the way I want to. I just laughed inside when you said that. It's so true. It is so true. If you've got nothing inspiring to post, you are not living your life to the fullest potential at that moment. That means you're just kind of sleepwalking in that moment, right? So that's amazing. We attract what we post and put out there. So as you're posting and you're looking for a particular, well, you're posting a particular thing, you're going to attract what you put out there. It's what we call the law of attraction, right? So I love how you say too, it's probably going to change as we do on our journey through our coaching journey. What you post is going to change. And then when you start changing that, you're going to start attracting different people, right? So that's one of the most amazing things that I saw when I was just posting recipes and weight loss stuff. That's all I was attracting all day long. When I started talking about, you know, being able to, you know, save money for Jake's college, I started to attract more parents that were looking for financial freedom, you know, things like that. So those are things that I love hearing. I got so many nuggets. So I want to take people off and share with me what you guys have kind of got out of some of this stuff. So who wants to, like, okay, Leslie, you come on.
I was just going to say, one of the things about Christina, when you watch her or listen to her, is that she's very honest. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, but she's very, very honest the way she talks to the camera or, you know, to people. And I think that that resonates with people really well, because it lets them know that they can trust her. She's being real about her life. And so if she can tell us the crappy parts, we're going to believe her when the good parts come up. So I like listening to her when she does lives and stuff, because you know she's telling you the truth. She's out watering her garden. The kids are coming up and talking to her, and she's still able to keep her train of thought, and she's just telling you the way she feels. And I think that that's helped me with the way that I want to portray myself. I don't necessarily do as many lives, but when I write, I'm trying to be as honest as possible and say, you know, this isn't easy, this, you know, but it can be done if you have the right tools and the right community. And that's the biggest thing. So that's all.
That's all. That's what's amazing right there. And you're right, because she's not just shooting rainbows out of her butt all the time, right? She's being real. I'm sorry, we've all got stuff. Because you're being so real and authentic, and because you're being a real freaking person, people hear that. And so when you say something that you're struggling with, but then come around and saying there's hope and this is how, my gosh, that's huge.
Mhm.
Don't be so scared to share that we're human. I'll be honest. Yesterday morning, I went and had a freaking Bellini for breakfast. That was not a good morning. I almost posted that on Facebook, almost. But, you know, like, it's just, it's who you are. How many people can relate to that? How many people go, oh my God, it's Monday. Ugh. Like, you know, those are the things that people can actually relate to. So I love it. I love it. Who else has got some good stuff that they either heard from Robin or Christina and kind of want to share with the rest of us? Nothing. All right, Linda.
Well, what's really interesting about branding ourselves and living out loud is the fact that I'm not from here. And so I have friends back east. And I went on my hometown page today. And when I was younger and a teenager and what have you, we would make these boondoggles out of like these plastic leather threading type things. We make keychains and a whole bunch of really cool things. Well, in 1 hour, I got 75 likes in 1 hour. So do you think I'm going to write those likes down and reach out to some of those people? Heck yeah. Heck yes. So it's all about living out loud, being excited, interacting with people that you haven't seen in 40 years. And it was amazing. And the conversations that I had, and I didn't have time for this today. I really didn't, but I did. I made the time. And it was like, but like Robin and Christina both says, you have to live out loud. You have to be intentional. You have to be personable. You have to, sometimes you have to wear your heart out on your sleeve. You just have to. And because of that, 70 likes might turn into 1. I don't know, but it was great just to talk to these people I haven't talked to in 40 years, you know? Playground, what is that ball that hangs from a string and you hit it and it goes around in a circle? Okay, that thing. And kick the can we played, and softball, and it was all these really cool things that we did. And I'm like, oh my God, it just jogged all these great memories, you know? And 70 likes in 1 hour. I was like, do they even remember who I am? It was fun. It was really fun. So I am living out loud as best as I can. I even dug out my 1974 yearbook, okay? And I'm going to go through my classmates and see if they're on Facebook and see what can come of that. Okay, I'm old. I don't deny I don't deny that. So, but yeah, and I learned so much. I mean, okay, I learned a lot, and I just take notes and I write everything down, and I feed off you guys, and it's great. Just bring it on.
Love it. No, it's so true. So like the difference right there too, that I hear with Linda now, she's starting to really become herself, right? It's not using Facebook as a way of selling or just being just inauthentic. People crave authenticity. They crave connection. And that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to get out of this. In this day and age where everything is concrete and electronics, we still have our one human desire, of needing to be okay and accepted. We don't get that from anything else than human connection. So be real, be authentic, throw yourself out there. What are you struggling with and what are you doing to overcome it? How are you actually getting to your goals? What are you loving about life? What are you dreaming about? How are you living the most abundant life possible? And how are you continuing to live that life, right? And share your struggles. Be real with stuff. That's going to get other people too. Because how many of us were struggling really freaking hard before this program? And now we've got a family and one another to support each other, and we have hope. And because of that, because of living out loud, being authentic, branding yourself, showing people, guess what? There's a way, and this is how it's helping me. You bring hope to humanity where a lot of hope has been gone for a very long time, and it just keeps getting worse too. We're just more detached with the world. So one of the things that I thought about, oh wait, no, go, Robin, go.
No, just to follow up on what you just said though, in being real and the loss of connection for everybody, the one struggle that I'm finding with Facebook and trying to connect with people and doing what we do is that we're not the only ones trying to do that, but I will say we're the only ones that I feel like are real about it and that are intentional. And it's giving us as a community, I think it's making it a little bit harder to do what we do from time to time, because people are becoming even more skeptical than they were before, because of people throwing up all over you with whatever it is that they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not selling anything, but I'm finding that that's another barrier to try and break through, and why it's so important to be real and not throw up on somebody in Messenger, because they're already getting that. And I just wanted to put that out there.
No, I agree. As other people are starting to do that, right, and they merge Facebook in with their businesses and stuff like that, you can start seeing more of that. But that's where actually we are very, very blessed in the fact that with our personal development and the training that we get and living out loud and learning all of these things, we actually will be seen as completely different, because you can start looking now. It's so funny. I'll go to somebody's page and I'll see exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like, huh, interesting, right? And I'll look through and see what they're doing. And I can see if there is a push, right? And you can see it as I'm selling or I'm trying to do something, right? So how you posture that online too can make a whole world of difference. And actually, this leads into perfectly what I was just thinking about in this whole thing. It's about a post about basically, come join us. Have you suffered like I did with this? Have you suffered like Jerry has with this? Right? Come join a community of strugglers. Come join, find out what's different about us, right? So listing out maybe like, you know, come join us if you've ever done this, you've ever dealt with this, you've ever dealt with this, being authentic, real. Basically saying, I have too, right? At the bottom. Come feel safe. Let me help. Could be something with a picture of hands, right? Something like that. Or even take a picture of yourself you know, just saying, come join. Let me be here for you. Let me hold that space for you, you know, because people don't think. They're skeptical. They're scared. They don't want to take the leap. A lot of them are sleepwalking through life. So. All right. Anybody got any like amazing feedback, questions, anything about living out loud, branding yourself, how that can help your business? How it could also be a detriment to your business if we're not doing it right? Okay, stop it. My phone. Sorry. I thought I had it on silent. Okay. Well, I think this was an amazing topic for tonight. And I can't wait for tomorrow night. So I'm going to stop recording right now.